Hey crew, what am I offering by doing all these videos? Knowledge and adapted perspective. This is Daniel Young, owner and operator of Adapted Perspective and Adapted Perspective Navigate Your Finances, found on Facebook. I believe it's my purpose, my calling to help you identify your dreams and help you reach your financial freedom destination and maintain it so that you can pass on your wealth to the next generation. I continue to film raw, unedited content in my home. Who knows if my cat will make an appearance? He's hopefully sleeping and not yowling in the background. Uh, but getting back, so I'm taking knowledge imparted by the Contrarian Outlook team, who is the few sources of portfolio income that I read. I read a lot, but I tend to listen, at least, yeah, I tend to listen to those guys. Sometimes I go a different route, but I do read and consider what they say more than a lot of others. Excuse me. But yeah, so I'm taking the knowledge imparted by the Contrarian Outlook team, all my ongoing reading and education on the broader market, trends, the Fed's meddling, continued meddling, life, leadership, entrepreneurship, our individual financial journey, and our individual investments, and sharing all of that with you. So I will be transparent throughout. Why? Because it matters to me. I don't like to blow smoke. I don't like to hide. I don't like to give people a false reality. So I'll give you the backstories, the references, how it all relates to anything we're currently doing. I'll share my successes and failures and be transparent, even if it's embarrassing. Nobody likes to fail. And we tend to view failure as a stopping point, like the end of something, but it's really not. Failure, as much as it sucks, and I'll be the first to admit that I hate to be wrong, and I hate to fail. There's a level of pride there. I think if you let pride get out of control, which we've all done, we we increase our risk of screwing up. Um, if you view failure as just a not a stopping spot, but like a stopping spot where you can reevaluate what you're up to. Because it's, hey, I did this, it didn't work. What went wrong? How can I adjust? How can I adapt and move forward? I think that's a much better view than a much better perspective than I failed. Now what? Like I failed. Now what? I have nowhere to go. As opposed to I failed. What went wrong? Now what? How do I move forward? Um, yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I make a ton of mistakes. So we're going to dive. The goal is to increase our and your financial literacy viewed through our lens and get an adaptive perspective on life, all things income and the financial freedom we're all seeking. So by increasing our financial literacy, adapting our perspective and lens, and maybe lens, I say lens like if you're looking through a pair of binoculars, but it's how you're filtering your viewpoint from where you are. Uh, I'm going to use Kiyosaki a lot on this video. And he talks about sight and vision. Sight is what we see with our eyes. Vision is what we see with our mind. I think that's a really good starting spot of that definition or of those definitions. Sight is great for the present. Vision, you can see now. Look forward in your mind. You can also review what happened in the past. You can review what's happening right now, and you can look at your dreams for where you want to be. My versions of financial freedom might be completely different than yours, but you can still make your dreams based on your specific financial freedom goals, and then you can financial freedom beams, and then you can create goals on how to get there. And then your vision turns into something you can see right now of where you want to be, but you can also step back. So instead of like a first person shooter game where you're looking through your eyes and seeing where you want to be, you can step back and look at like you're looking at somebody else. So you get a different perspective too. Um, yeah, fun things with vision. So we're going to view things through a lens, through our lens, get an adaptive perspective on life, all things income, and the financial freedom we're all seeking, right? And then by increasing our financial literacy, we adapt our perspective and lens, we can better evaluate all the other advice because there's a ton of advice out there, right? And it's not all good. And that's really what we're leaning towards in this. We're doing several things here. We're previewing and laying the foundation for the actual title of this board or the title of this playlist. There are so many different financial memes out there, and they all look, well, maybe not they all, the vast majority look pretty. But once you get behind or once you get past how pretty a little graphic, that little meme looks, and dig into more than half the stuff out there is complete crap. It's pretty for a reason. It's distracting. Uh, yeah, it's very distracting. And it sounds good and it looks good, but once you actually evaluate it, it's not the best things for you. And I don't know if I can actually share a screen off of this page. And if I can, I'll be honest and say I don't know how to do that yet. So we'll figure this out as we go. So financial literacy, sorry. Financial literacy is simply learning more about how money really works and breaking from the basic crap we all learned in school and how you can use the knowledge to improve your life and gain financial freedom. So the first lesson, for lack of a better word, is Kiyosaki's three types of incomes. When I say Kiyosaki, that's Robert Kiyosaki. Um, I read Robert Kiyosaki. I read Donald Trump prior to his presidency. Maybe I'll read something he wrote post presidency. Uh, I look at Grant Cardone, Chris Crone, lots of different things. I like Kiyosaki's version of income better than Dave Ramsey and better than anybody else. Um, I don't know how to share the screen, so I will attach the link where you can find this infographic on my Facebook page. And when you go there, you'll see this infographic for an overview of the three types of income. There is earned income, portfolio income, and passive income. And we need to understand the basic types of income because there's a lot of people out there selling passive income that isn't passive income. And pick your financial freedom. Um, pick your creator on TikTok or Pinterest for that matter. And I won't say everybody because I don't. The vast majority of content creators label Amazon FBA, Etsy, Printify, blogging, lots of things as passive income. But the reality is you have to work to make that work. And that's actually earned income. That's how that's treated. So on this infographic, those three types of income, earned, portfolio, and passive, almost everybody starts with earned income. Take your full-time job, chances are it's earned income, and you're taxed on earned income. How much you make depends, well, say your taxes depend on how much you make. So if you own a business and pay employees, or if you own a business and you pay yourself like an employee, or if you're an employee for a business, you have earned income and you pay taxes on that. Portfolio income is taxed. There's stocks, crypto, the investment that we specifically do into closed-end funds, which we'll get into. Um, all of that portfolio income is taxed, and it's taxed based on how long you have it, how much the capital gains. So if you buy a stock at $10, and then when you sell that the next day or 2 years from then, if you make profit, that profit is taxed, and it's taxed differently based on how long you hold it. Portfolio income, the dividends you make. We invest in closed-end funds based on a lot of things, but also based on the specific dividends associated with each fund. We can gain a much higher annual yield. We can gain a much higher dividend or a much higher reward essentially for owning a specific fund than almost anything else you can find in the market. There are unicorns here and there. They're rare. So those dividends, as great as they are, they're still taxed. And in crypto, if you're doing crypto, all the staking you do, all the money you make, all of that is still taxed. Passive is unique, and there are taxes. So let's attempt to cut through a little bit of fluff right now. So in passive income, there's real estate for passive income, and you can somewhat put a Roth dividend in a passive income stream. So depending on how you label your investment account, you can do a Roth account, which is tax deferred, and all the money you make inside the account is tax deferred, maybe tax waived, depending on how long you wait, until later. So in theory, roughly in theory, you could kind of label that as passive income, and that it sits in your portfolio. It just happens. You could leave it in there and never touch it, and the dividends would still occur, and it's not actively taxed. Real estate. So let's say, so if you own a house, right, your taxes are wrapped into the mortgage for the property. So as long as you escrow, meaning as long as you put your taxes and insurance and taxes in and let the bank take care of all of that for you, your taxes are rolled into the escrow payments. If your house paid off, you're not worried about the principal and interest part. You're still escrowing, but you might be doing that on your own and not through a bank. If you own investment property, you're still paying all the local mud and city taxes, or rural taxes, depending on where you live. You're paying those taxes, and those are included in the mortgage payments or whatever kind of payments you got set up. The taxes that I'm talking about are the taxes on the profits. The tax code itself is up to incentivize you to own a business, and it's really set up to incentivize you to own real estate. There are a lot of different tax deductions so that decrease your tax for owning real estate. There are also tax credits, which also offset your taxes for real estate. And depending on how you set it up, which is a much bigger conversation than today, depending on how you set up your business or real estate and all of that other stuff, your CPA and how you set your business up can legally get out of paying taxes. Now, all the stuff that's associated with the property itself. So the principal, so the money you owe the bank, the interest, which is oftentimes a lot more than the principal because it's a lot of money. So you have principal, interest, taxes. So the city taxes, mud, all other jazz that's on your like I live in Harris County, so it's HCAD, Harris County Appraisal District. Um, the taxes and then the insurance for the house, that's all wrapped into your uh, rental, like month to month rent. That's all wrapped in together. The taxes we're talking, or the passive income and legally getting out of paying taxes that we're talking about is how you get taxed on profit. Um, there's a lot that goes into that, but real estate really is, um, if you set it up right, real estate can be tax free on the profits. And that's worth investing in. That's worth looking into. Uh, the infographic that's on Facebook overviews this. It also has a very small content portion that overviews our system for creating our financial freedom. So the blue text is, man, I just like blue. And I don't know if you can see this right now. So it's just the over the three types of income. It's broken down into earned, portfolio, and passive. We look at taxes, and then these yellow rows are the content we added that we'll get into at a later date. Um, it's a lot to get into for today. So I like Kiyosaki system because it's easy to figure out if the income that you're looking at is earned, portfolio, or passive. Right? There's so much crap out there, and people, gosh, so much do this for income, do that for passive income, do this for passive income. And it's not passive. I see way too many memes of passive income that are passive. And it's, God, these content creators are trying to grab your attention, and they're selling they're selling poodoo as gold. And poodoo's a Star Wars reference, but they're selling poodoo for gold, and it's not black gold by any means. It's a ton of work to do those things. Yes, you can make considerable profit, and yes, those content creators, for the most part, are offering a different way to earn income than a full-time job. But it is in no way passive. Even if you set up an Etsy store, you can load content that will sell in the future. You still have to actively manage that store, and that is not passive. Yeah. So how do you tell what's real passive and not? You listen to Kiyosaki. You look at the infographic and see where things. Um, gosh, so much crap out there. Um, and that's really why, gosh, those financial memes that gave me the inspiration to do all this stuff, to teach some background, to go over some things, and then I started saving all of these wishy-washy, fluff, pretty, nonsensical, crappy memes on a board on Pinterest, and I intend to break them all down based on our lens, based on our perspective, and based on our systems. But if I just jumped into it and started breaking stuff down or reviewing things, not just completely tearing to shreds, But if I just jumped in and started breaking things down, there'd be no reference point, no like no way for you to be anywhere, anywhere aware of how we view things and how we look at things and how we're working on our financial journey. So to give you some background, that's why we're making these videos. So that when we hit that point of actually looking at financial memes and whether they're good, bad, or kind of mixed, you have some type of reference of why we view them that way. And we'll get there. Yeah, so gosh, short video overall. So if you enjoy the content, which I get that I'm 3 videos in, with more fun stuff on the way. So if you enjoy this, if it's helping you, I hope it is. But if you enjoy this, consider subscribing to the channel, hit the like button, and then head over to Facebook and join my group there called Navigating Your Finances. The link will be in the comments or in the description below. In that description, there'll be a link to that Facebook page. But when you get to the top of the page, or when you get to that page, if you go to feature and click on featured, scroll down a little bit, you'll find that infographic on the overview of the 3 types of income. Yeah, so wherever you are in your financial freedom journey, whether you've just started, whether you've been in it for months, gosh, if you're financially free, that's awesome. Regardless of who you are, just remember you have the power to change your life and financial future. Many people will offer to help you, but only you can make the choice to do it. Captain your ship, lead your crew, and accomplish your dreams. That's what this is about. Your dreams are not going to happen on their own. It's not like you can just rub a magic genie lamp and make them happen. If you want your dreams, if you really want to accomplish your dreams, whatever they may be, you're going to have to make it happen. Like you're going to have to take an active role in figuring that out. And if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you can still do it. If you're in your 20s, you have a lot higher potential, a lot more time to accomplish your dreams than the rest of us. But regardless of age, regardless of anything, you have the ability to do this. You've got to see that. Like you've got to want it. Yes, like we all want financial freedom. My version can be different than yours. Yours can be different than the person sitting next to you, the person across the globe from you. That doesn't matter, right? The only way your dreams are going to happen is if you do something about it. Gosh, there's so many people that want to help you. I would love to help you, but I can't do it for you, right? You've got to be the one to make the choice to do it. Make it happen. Shock your world. You can do this. You can do this. It's challenging, but fun. So, Daniel Young, signing off. See you on the next video. Have a great